Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. In this video I'm going to be talking about the 2024 32-bit game jam. This is a jam that I joined recently. I just want to show you some of the games that came out of there, and I'll show you my game as well. If you enjoy the video, make sure to comment on it. So the first one that we have here today is Graag, or Graag. I'm not really sure how exactly you pronounce it, but essentially it's this adorable little collection adventure game. You go around collecting samples of mud and rock and mushrooms and plants, and you can deposit them and get money for them. It's pretty fun. The graphics look really good, the music's nice. Altogether it's a pretty good effort. So this next one is called Corry the Corsac Extreme. It's a 3D platformer. It reminds me a lot of the cancelled Sonic game on the Sega Saturn, Sonic Extreme, and I think that's what they were going for here. I think it's definitely one of the most polished games here. The amount of content that's here in this game is pretty astounding given how little time we had for this jam. Right, now we get onto my game, Cold Expanse, or at least the demo for Cold Expanse. I'm gonna make this into a full game eventually. It's gonna have a bunch of different planets that you can walk around on and explore. It's gonna have cutscenes and a whole story, but this is all I could really get done in 2 weeks, and it's not too bad, but I wish I'd done more. I was hoping to at least have one shooter level and then one exploration level, and maybe a little bit of dialogue, but I can do that later, of course. Next up on our list is Contingency Protocol, and this is a sci-fi shooter, sort of like Doom. I don't usually play games like this, but it's pretty well made and the graphics look good. It's got a nice cutscene at the start of the game, and this actually won the game jam. This took first prize. It's got a pretty catchy theme song to go with it, and the sound effects all sound pretty good. It doesn't feel too maze-like either, it's pretty easy to know where you're going, and there's a boss at the end of it as well. This is good, props to the developer. This next one is called Pitstop, and I think it's about collecting scrap from a maze and then bringing it out and selling it and avoiding monsters. I didn't get super far in this one. I couldn't really understand what I was doing. I have watched the guy who made it make devlogs of it as well, and all the set pieces and the monsters look really well modelled, so props for that, of course. This next one is called Plutocrux. It's just a little space game where you fly around to different planets delivering packages and avoiding asteroids. There's not a lot to it just now, but I think that maybe the developer might add some more stuff. The models all look really good, the textures are nice, and it's got a catchy tune to it as well. So not a bad effort for this one. This next one is called Wretch, and it's another one that I couldn't really figure out what I was doing with. It was really dark and I couldn't see much. I think it's one of these paranormal invasion type of games. You had to set up cameras around the house to catch a ghost or something. Again, all the 3D models and the textures look well designed. I think the developer might be updating it to make it a little easier, but we'll have to see. This next one is called Negative Space, and it's kind of like an Asteroids clone, but with a little bit of extra stuff added in. It's quite fun, and the graphics all look really nice, and it's got a catchy tune as well. I'm not sure exactly if it fits within the 90s 32-bit theme, but it's still very good regardless of that. If the developer is still working on this, it might be nice to see some power-ups or maybe some bosses. I think that would be cool and add a bit of variety to the game. But it's a pretty good effort. Okay, so this one is called Shipman, and it reminds me of the old Atari arcade game, Lunar Lander, which came out in 1979. It's a little basic, there's only 2 levels here, and it's over pretty quickly, but there's still a little bit of fun to be had here. I hope that maybe the developer adds more levels eventually, that'd be cool. This next one's pretty interesting. It's called Western Reckoning, and it's a Western zombie survival game, which I don't think I've ever heard of before. Which is surprising given how popular the zombie survival craze was. But I really don't think I've seen many others like this, and it's pretty well made too. It's fun, all of the graphics look really well designed, the map looks pretty well modelled, there's 2 weapons to choose from, and it's just wave based. So you get a bit of time to prepare between rounds, and then you have to fight off a bunch of enemies during the waves. And there's even barricades at the start, which the enemies will eventually break through. Again, it's not really my type of game, but it is really well made. Now, the final one we have here is The Keeper's Garden. This is another one that I don't feel necessarily fits within the 32-bit theme, but that's not an insult by any means. It just feels more like a 16-bit game, like from the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. You have to go around the world exploring and finding flowers, and to help you do that you've got a little sidekick. The music here is really chill and ambient, and it sets the mood really nicely. The graphics are pretty well drawn as well. I did find that the controls were a little bit floaty, and it kind of got me a little bit frustrated, but other than that it's pretty good. Thank you so very much for watching if you've made it to the end of the video. If you liked it, please like, comment and subscribe. And go show some love to the creators of these games. I'll try and link all of them in the description. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.